Good evening. Hi, I'm Craig.
And I'm Lee.
Last week we had talked a little bit about us and mentioned the fact that we've been married for 29 years. And so tonight we wanted to talk a little bit about marriage per se and communication and how that's important with marriage. And so, you know, you don't stay married 29 years without some difficulties and without some problems and disagreements and however you want to say it, but we just wanted to chat a little bit about that today.
Yeah, so I was looking up some of the statistics on divorce and like the top 5 reasons why people do get a divorce. And a lot of times number 5 and number 3 was lack of communication. And then someone even said that number 1 reason was lack of communication, or maybe what you would call like not even like a lack of communication, but very bad communication, maybe. I don't know. However you want to.
Maybe misunderstanding,
whatever. Because communication is more than just talking to each other about everyday things, But and there's such thing as like a comfortable silence where there's like doesn't need to be any communication, but that's on a whole other thing. So anyway, I was thinking like, so if everybody, like back, remember Han, when we had to like, I did not know how to communicate like my thoughts, my feelings. And was it at that one marriage conference that we had gone to that we learned to like write each other a letter?
Yeah.
And then that's what we did. And but we not only had to write each other a letter, we had to like talk about everything that we wrote down, and that was hard.
Yeah, didn't we have to read it to each other?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great piece of advice for any married couple that has difficulty. Obviously, I'm not a very good communicator myself. My tendency would be to clam up more than say anything, I guess you could say, or I was the quiet one and just let it stew inside, and obviously that's not healthy, and that's certainly not communicating. It's just the opposite, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's, so if you have a hard time expressing your feelings, obviously, and you can write, you're a writer and you prefer to write them down. Well,
but you don't even have to be a writer.
No, I know.
But
yeah.
But some people can do better at writing their thoughts down.
Yeah, some people enjoy writing, and that's an easier way to communicate. And that's a great. Write your spouse or significant other or whatever they may be a letter and get those feelings out, or those whatever they might be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's good advice.
Yeah, because like I was thinking, okay, so if someone is like going through some really hard times, like whether it's about financial issues, sexual issues, raising kids issues, anything that pertains to a marriage, like if you, like we can't read each other's minds. So like if I'm feeling, one way about something and you're feeling one way about something or a different way about something,
Mm-hmm.
and if we never communicate them, like we have done in the past, and then when we finally do talk about it, it's like, whoa, I had no idea.
Right.
That's what you were thinking, or vice versa.
Or that's what you meant by that.
Right.
I think that's a common thing between men and women.
But
women
like,
will say one thing and men will take it a different way, and really they were trying to say whatever it might be. So learning those things is important.
And then also what I was going to say about that too is what I would do is whether it was something that had happened or something that we had talked about, I would like go over and over in my head like a lot of us ladies do, and before you know it, I had taken a small molehill and made it into a big mountain. And I think once we've learned how to communicate to each other, though, that has not happened like it used to. so often.
Right.
Whereas now it's like he knows if I'm mad at him, he knows, like, and he'll ask me right away what's wrong or what did I do or whatever. Whereas before, years ago, we wouldn't say anything to each other for like a long. I mean, I'm talking weeks, literally weeks. Like
Yeah, we went through a spell where we'd go for long periods of time without even talking.
we would talk about like what. Obviously, we had kids, and we we would communicate enough about day-to-day life and whatever. But like talking, no.
And obviously, if you're not talking in that sense or communicating with each other beyond just daily necessities, and the intimacy level is not there, and so much more that goes with it, and that's where the problems really start to develop. And that's why it's so important to figure out and to learn from each other how to communicate. We can help each other out when we talk about it. Okay, what's an easier way for you to talk, or easier way, how can we, I'm feeling this way, and but if you never tell your spouse you're feeling that way, how are they supposed to know? Sometimes I think you just expect them that they should know.
But we can't read each other's minds.
But we can't. So it's yeah. So that just those are some quick thoughts. Obviously, there's so much more in communication, but
right. But because I was thinking, like, even if you look at the statistics in the United States, if communication was not an issue, I wonder how many less divorces there would be, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you had good communication, you could, work through your money problems. I think money was like number 2 as far as reason for divorce. Infidelity being number 1. But there again, it's like if you've got good communication, everything on that level should be good. That's just how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we all got married to be happy and not be miserable, and we got married to have fun and grow old together, and not grow old and miserable, or just hanging in there just to stay together. Are you kidding me? No. We're gonna have a good time, baby.
Yeah, well,
right?
We've made it 29 years, so it's only getting better.
Absolutely.
That's things, obviously, when we go through those tough times, when you have young kids and there's so many other things going on in your life, it puts a lot of challenges and stress on a marriage, but it's if you're willing to work those things out, and willing to work with each other and talk with each other, that it only gets stronger and better, and these last few years of our marriage, I think, have been the best yet, and I expect much better to come. And obviously, a big part of things is having faith and believing in God, and trusting that He's there for us and to help us work things out. And you gotta, so it's good. Yeah. So we just encourage any of you young people or anybody that's married that's going through some tough times to talk it out, talk them out, and let each other know what you're feeling and how you're feeling, and see how you can work those things out.
And sometimes, like, if you remember, I mean, even if like we've gone through some harder issues, like for you to talk, or for me to talk, I should talk about just from my own experiences, but like I would get so choked up and I would just start bawling and just like just be a mess. But it's okay. Just get it out. You need to talk out your stuff.
Absolutely.
You have to get it out. The good, the bad, the ugly, it has to come out,
Yeah.
In the long run, you'll be much better off.
Yeah, so we want to keep these short, but enjoy sharing with you all, and we hope you have a great night.
Bye-bye.